wisdom, professional, music. Those are just a few of the things I think of when I think of Sam Mosley. Who is Sam Mosley? Well, Sam Mosley is a producer, a songwriter, a composer, a guitarist, an artist. If it deals with music, Sam Mosley has done it. Over the years, Sam Mosley has worked with countless artists on countless projects. He's performed in numerous locations, and his songs about blues and soul have entered the ears and hearts of millions. Most blues artists we speak of have either passed or are no longer playing. The cool thing about Sam is that to this day, he continues to do shows almost every weekend. And not only that, he still lives in the same place he was born and raised, New Albany, Mississippi. Now, every story has a man, and every man has a story. Picture Sam's story as a train ride. And though Sam didn't know where it would take him at first, in the end, he saw sights and went places that most of us only dream of. Today, we will look at Sam's life and uncover who he is as a man, a musician, and most of all, a legend. Join us as we go beyond the tracks with Sam Mosley. If Sam's life is a train ride, then the journey begins in New Albany, Mississippi. That's where Sam was born, March 30th, 1946. He grew up in the Beaver Dam community and was raised in a family of sharecroppers.
We raised cotton, corn, beans, you name it. Peas, we did it. Had hogs and cows, milk cows. We did all of that.
You know, no internet, 3 channels on TV. The main thing going on was sports if you're in school, and the work scene was, you know, everybody pretty much grew up on a farm or they had gardens, and it was simple. It was simple.
One of the benefits the small town New Albany had was the train track that divided the town in two.
Well, that made a huge difference here economically. It came here in the 1880s, and because the railroad tracks came through New Albany and crossed here, that made it a center for, you know, industrial development, because you could ship your goods and people would come and get off the train and eat in the restaurants, and, you know, it just was a kind of a little beehive of activity.
There was a barber shop and a shoe repair shop right on that side. Mr. Gibson owned that. And down the street was Bud Turner's Cafe.
And of course, you see on this side of the track, you see where Sam's place is and continues to be. There was a whole row of African-American businesses. There was a cab stand and a tea room and a little movie theater.
And on across the street, there was a black hotel. So see, back in the day, blacks couldn't stay in the same hotel as white people. Over on this side of the track was the Rainey Hotel. Look where the mayor is now. That's where the old Rainey Hotel was. On this side of the track was where the black hotel was. And so we had two different societies, black folks and white folks, and white folks over on that side doing their thing, black folks over on this side doing their thing. We all had a good time.
And on the south side of town, they call like Goose Holler, which is Buncombe Street over that way by Wild Bill's. All that was black. And down off of Central and Booker Street, you got what they call, we used to call it Dumb. It was a housing area right off Central. Mostly blacks lived there. And then across the tracks, over by the old shirt factory, from the museum area of Cleveland Street, we call that north side. It was a black side over there, and there was a white side over there. And that's mostly where most of the blacks and the whites lived during that time.
And we got rid of the shop, we go downtown and we shop. And when we get what we want, we come back over here and, you know, just have a good time.
Sam attended B.F. Ford High School. I had the chance to meet Miss Varnell Kimmons, who was the librarian there while Sam was a student. She spoke highly of Sam. She even said he was one of the few students who was selected to test for scholarships at Jackson State University. It is at B.F. Ford that Sam met his lifelong friend and future band partner, Bob Johnson.
Him and Sam were just like brothers, because when they was younger, he used to tell me all the time how he would take up for Sam, because Sam was kind of quiet, wouldn't hardly say anything, but my husband was always there for Sam. He took up for him. They were really close.
Best friends, that's what they always said. They were best friends growing up. They pretty much did everything together, sports and music, basically traveling around, you know, being athletes. You know, we go around to the different parties, everybody be hyped up because, oh, here come Sam, here come Bob. You know, they was pretty popular.
Even when Sam was like 16 years old, 17 years old, I thought he was the best guitar player I ever heard.
Sam and Bob were destined for greatness long before they knew it. But where did it all start? How did it all happen? How did all the music come into play? Well, it all started one day when Sam's father told him not to touch his guitar.
And so one day, he came in early. You know how that is. You think you're getting away with something. You better be careful because you'll get caught sooner or later. So anyway, he walked in on us and he said, I told y'all not to be messing with my guitar. I said, yes, sir, you did. And he said, all right, well, let me see what you can do. And we started playing. My brother was on the piano and I was on the guitar. And he was really surprised. And he never asked me again not to play it. He just told me to take care of it.
Sam picked up the guitar that day and never put it down. He had found his lifelong hobby, music. Sam was influenced by many local artists such as Leon Pinson, Elderoma Wilson, and also Billy Ball. He also says he was influenced by artists such as Al Green, Sam Cooke, and Willie Mitchell. Though Sam loved the blues, not everyone was for it. As a matter of fact, at that time, it was frowned upon to play blues and gospel together.
They told us we were playing the devil's music when we played, you know, rock and roll and blues. I could play you a note, and if a gospel person hit that same E note, it sounded exactly the same. So as far as I'm concerned, music to me is a part of life.
In 1965, Sam Mosley was drafted into the U.S. Army. He fought in the Vietnam War. He shared some stories with us on what it was like being in combat.
Well, it's something that you don't ever want to experience. It's something that you don't ever want to happen on American soil. It's something that is a life-changing thing. It's real good. I didn't even like shooting rabbits and squirrels. And, you know, that's a big thing down south here, hunting and stuff like that. But you think about, you get in a war zone, then you hunting people. And the other side is that they hunting you right back. And the first one of you that makes a mistake, you know, that's a problem. You learn to deal with fear. You learn to deal with isolation and disappointments. But one thing that kept me going was, you know, I'm doing this for my country, to help these people find freedom. And so, you know, you have to be willing to do that in order to be successful when you go to the service. If it's what's living for, it's what's dying for. You get that in your mind and you prepare yourself for whatever may come, but you try your best to stay alive.
While Sam was in Vietnam, Bob was also in the service.
Matter of fact, when both of them went off to service, you know, together, and then when they came back, that's when they started playing.
While we were in the service, Bob began playing with a group in the service. Prior to that, Bob had a group called Bobby Johnson and the Messengers. And so they had a group in the Army. I was in Vietnam.
And him and Sam was singing together in high school. And Sam had came back home from, I think, either Arkansas or Peoria, Illinois, from playing, so he came back home. And my brother Bob went over to Sam's house, and my brother asked him, "Hey man, come on, let's get together and get with the band."
We decided to form a group together, and we called that group Sam and Bob and the Soul Men.
Sam and Bob and the Soul Men was just the beginning. The group recorded its first album, Mississippi Mud, in 1971 under their own record label, Sabo Records. Now, Sam and Bob and the Soul Men didn't last long. Well, the group did, but the name didn't. The band went through numerous name changes throughout the early 70s.
Basically, Sam and Bob, and then Sam and Bob and the Soul Men, you know, just kind of migrated up. And through the years, it became Majoba.
We got our very first recording contract with a major label. See, there was another group out there called Sam and Dave. So we had to come up with another name to separate us from Sam and Dave. So, and we had to do that in like 5 or 10 minutes. So we just decided to put our names together. M.O. for Mosley, J.O. for Johnson, and B.A. for Band. Mosley Johnson Band. And we named it Majoba. Because back in the 70s, you know, they had this kind of Afro, dashiki type look, you know. And so you had kind of a name like that, kind of had a little African content to it.
Sam always had ambition to go to college. In 1971, before recording their first album, Sam and Bob both attended Northeast Mississippi Community College on football scholarships. It was the school's first year to have a football team. An interesting fact is that Sam, who played wide receiver, scored the first touchdown of the opening season. When the GI Bill expanded to cover 4 years of education for military vets, Sam seized the opportunity and enrolled at Ole Miss, where he later received his bachelor's degree in business administration in 1973.
Education is the most important thing. And whatever you get out of life, you got to have some type of education. And whatever you set your mind to do, go for it. Go for it.
Sam, alongside Bob Johnson, went for it. Their music took off. In 1971, the band signed with Malaco Records in Jackson, Mississippi. This was a huge leap for the band. It put them in Southern spotlight.
They were gone just about every weekend, especially holidays.
Say on the average, every other weekend, at least a couple of times a month, we was going somewhere.
They did shows in many locations with many artists.
All over North Mississippi, Mongo, New Albany, Tupelo was a biggie, Houston, Starkville, played around Memphis, and we stretched on out to Oklahoma, Muskogee, Oklahoma, and we also down around Mobile, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia. You know, mostly down south and the East Coast, up to Chicago, Peoria, Evanston, Aurora.
The band performed dozens of songs in many locations in front of thousands of people. One can only help but wonder, what was it like being up there on stage?
It's like, first you're nervous, but then after you pick a few notes, hit a few licks, man, it gets comfortable, and then you're in the groove, everything's all right, but it's kind of shaky starting off at first. You're kind of nervous because, you know, you want everything to be right, and then everything just mellow out. The crowd get in it, and you're playing the music, and everybody dancing and clapping. It's great.
I'm just as comfortable playing in here for 10 to 12 people as I am if I was playing for 10 or 12,000. I love it, first of all. So for me, it's a matter of whatever the occasion, adapt to it and do the best you can every time.
While recording music and doing shows all over the place, the band got to meet and work with many of blues' greatest artists.
Not in specific order, a hierarchy, but Johnny Taylor, Bobby Bland, Millie Jackson, Mel Waiters, Jesse James, Pooh Nanny. That's a guy's name. His real name is something else, but he went under the name Pooh Nanny. He used to come to Tupelo all the time. B.B. King.
It's kind of a long list, but some of the ones that were most gracious to me was B.B. King. I know you all heard of him. He was a perfect gentleman. You know, sometimes big stars, when you work with them, they don't have time for you, or you know, they're too busy or one thing or another. But he took time to sit and talk, and it was very engaging, and I appreciated that.
The highlight of their careers came when the Mosley and Johnson Band were chosen to be the opening act for the Montreal Jazz Festival in Switzerland. The band got to play in Switzerland, London, and Paris.
Bobby and Sam went on a European tour in 1989, I believe. But they went on tour with the Malaco tour over in Europe, and Johnny Taylor, B.B. King, some of the other Malaco artists there.
When you go to the Montrose Jazz Festival in Switzerland, they have the marquee, and look there, who's in the marquee? Formidable Rhythm and Blues, Mosley and Johnson. To me, that's an awesome thing, and of course you see them, Mosley and Johnson sitting at a table with B.B. King there when they were in Switzerland.
We had been recognized over in Europe in a big way that we didn't even realize until we took a European tour. And so we were very appreciative of the people that showed an interest in the work that we've done.
Though Sam has had the privilege of doing songs all over the world, he has one place that he loves to perform at more than any other.
I'll be honest with you. I played in a lot of places, a lot of big cities, different countries, but for me personally, it's right here in Mississippi. I love the South. I love the people down here. I love what we represent and what we stand for. That's what I love to do.
Sam received 2 gold records during the 70s and 80s for his writing and production credits for artists ZZ Hill and Johnny Taylor. Those 2 gold records can be seen at the Union County Heritage Museum. Also, he and Bob together received a gold record for their song by Johnny Taylor, Slide On.
And we got our 2nd gold record for this particular song.
One of the band's first singers was a woman by the name of Daisy Rutherford.
I was a singer, and I enjoyed it. The whole time I was in there, I want to thank them for being such beautiful people, such gentlemen, because, you know, I was the only lady that was with them during the time. And they treated me like I was their little sister. And I thank God for them right to the day. I love Sam, you know, just like he was my brother, because they used to be around with us all the time.
She also shares with us her favorite song while she was with the band.
Ring My Bell. And my other favorite was I Can't Stand the Rain. Those 2 was my favorite.
Slide On.
Slide On.
Slide On. I just loved the way they played it. I loved it.
On August 22nd, 1998, the band suffered a terrible loss when Bob Johnson passed away from an onstage heart attack while the band was performing in Verona, Mississippi.
He killed over on the keyboard. So it's like, something wrong. So then he raised back up and started back playing again. So it's like, oh, I guess he was doing something. So I thought he was fixing the chord. So anyway, when he didn't raise up that second time, I put my bass down and grabbed him off the chair, laid him down on the stage. Pretty much everybody stopped playing because everybody looking around, see what was going on. So I laid him down, and I knew right off. I said, well, something done happened. He done had a heart attack.
He did it doing what he loved to do.
Right now, we'd like to do a song for you. But before we do, we'd like to let you know who we are. I'm Mosley, and I'm Bob Johnson. All right? From my new album, Premium, Don't forget the name, oh, let's fall in love.
He's my big brother. He always took up for me in a sense. You know, I'm a little guy. I'm the third of the brothers in the family. You know, kind of meek guy, a little scrawny guy growing up. But he taught me well as far as defending myself. You know, you always got this one guy, the big bad wolf. They want to overpower you.
Yeah.
And Bobby is pretty vocal, and I ain't never seen him back down on nothing. Stood up for everybody. He's a people person.
My husband was an humble man. He was a good person. If it was anything that he could do for you, he would. All you had to do was just ask him. And if it was in his power, that he would help you.
Fall in love. Let's fall in love. Let's fall in love tonight.
Though Bob Johnson had passed, the band did not stop playing.
Everybody took it hard, and then after that, we kind of had a meeting, like, well, what we're gonna do now? So, you know, as we always say, well, Bob didn't want us to quit. So basically it was like, well, we're not gonna stop playing because Bob passed. You know, he wants us to go ahead.
And go ahead they did. Since 1998, the band has continued to entertain many large groups of people. They've done shows all throughout the South, performing at festivals, events, and opening for other artists. They still go by the name, Mosley Johnson Band. In December of 2008, they were honored with a blues marker outside of the Union County Heritage Museum.
We had heard that there was a possibility of blues trails, so we began to look around and find our niche in that trail, and of course Sam and Bob were the ones that came to mind.
To this day, the band continues to play. In 2010, a Freedom Festival in New Albany, Mississippi honored Sam Mosley and the Mosley Johnson Band. Also in 2010, Sam released an album titled The Whole World Has Still Got the Blues. The album consisted of old songs and some new. Though Sam is still busy recording songs and practicing at his juke joint on the weekend, there's always one thing that he still finds time for.
He's just any regular old granddad, laid back, gets what we want, just any normal grandfather. And everybody knows my granddad wherever we go, no matter where we go. It's just pretty cool.
He's a great person, a good musician, is that. If I could describe him in one word, I'd say amazing.
Amazing.
Well, I've been to all his performances, like at downtown or whatever. We have him sell CDs.
I try to make every one of his concerts, whether he's playing at the Riverfest or somewhere in Tupelo, I try to make all of them.
Currently, Sam has been getting ready for his next big performance. He's been working with students at New Albany High School, prepping them for a live performance alongside him and his band. The students have enjoyed working with him, and the feeling is mutual.
I think he enjoys it more than we do, really, because like he's all into it and he helps us out a lot, and he acts pretty interested in it.
The other students, I believe they've learned just as much as I have from Sam Mosley, how to manage your money, how to be quiet on stage, how to have fun with what you're doing when you're on stage.
Take your time with it, and you gotta do it right. You gotta practice until you get it right. And you just gotta do your best. You gotta have stage discipline while you're on the stage. Can't be talking to nobody.
Well, and when we practice, he's serious, but then he can be funny in a way. Like if you mess up, he'll laugh about it. Then it's over with, and he makes you do it better. And then if you don't do it right, he's gonna keep on getting on to you until you get it right and all that.
What can you say? He's a businessman, you know. He's really all about stage discipline, but having fun with what you're doing. You know.
He's very business when it comes to actually practicing the music, but as a person, he can very much so cut loose and just kind of play with it a little bit. Oh, it's been a great learning experience. I never before got into rhythm and blues, but after spending time with him, I've learned how important it really is to my instrument, especially, and it's given me a lot of inspiration.
Mr. Sam Mosley is very important to his community and the town that he lives in of New Albany. he's a light to young people like us, and he's earning it. So I think it's an honor for me to sing with him, sing back up with him.
I think he's very important. People are always asking him to like sing at places and do events and everything. So I think he has a pretty important role in the community.
We had like an art challenge at the Tallahatchie Arts Council to do a piece that relates to the blues. And this is another kind of diddly bow, and of course you see your resonator is a Altoids can, which gives it a little more volume. And of course you see this artist painted Sam's face on the front of the diddly bow and uses a cork here to keep the string up. But of course this is just a piece of lumber that somebody cut out to make this musical instrument.
I asked some of the people that I interviewed, what do you think of when you think of Sam Mosley?
All right, when I think of Sam Mosley, I think of an inspirational person, because growing up in a small town like New Albany and then making it big going to Europe, it's pretty legit.
He is very quiet. Not around us, but if you like see him in public or whatever, he is quiet.
Sam is always kind of shy, quiet guy, you know. It's kind of hard to figure him out.
I think talent, inspiration, and just when it comes down to it, just a real good person that did what they strive for and made it. I've learned a lot from him. I thought I was a good musician. He's put me back a little bit and made me realize I can always get better.
Real quiet, soft-spoken, very knowledgeable about whatever the subject you want to bring up, and pretty easygoing. You know, he likes easygoing, and he loves his music. Hey, blues is his thing. That's what he do, blues and family.
He have always treated me, you know, like I was a real good guitar player. He never looked down on me. He never tried to use his talent to make me look small. I enjoy playing with him. In fact, I want to play with him some more, you know, if it's all possible.
Gentle, kind, talented person, and the more I know him, the more interesting his character is, because, you know, to be somebody who has traveled the world playing music, he's kind of just a down-home guy when you meet him. You know, you meet Sam walking down the street. You know, it's almost like, you know, we have this famous person in our midst, and he just fits into our community so well. And of course, we're so proud of him. I mean, he has brought acclaim through his talent to our town and county.
Is there anything else you would like us to know about your granddad? Maybe a question I didn't ask. I may think of another question, but just something you would like to tell the world about your granddad, like.
He sleep a lot.
He sleep a lot. Does he really?
Yeah.
Wow. And I think we're so fortunate that we have a blues marker for a person who's still performing and creating and teaching other people. The other side of Sam is, you know, he's a good family man. It's just a point of pride that we do have him, and he is still blowing and going and playing and teaching. The fact that he's sharing his talent with some of the students at the school, I just think that is totally awesome.
Sam is truly an awesome man. His life is proof that even if you come from a small town, you can still dream big. Though we can't help what side of the tracks we're born on, it is truly our decision whether we decide to go beyond those tracks and achieve the goals we want to accomplish. Sam has done many great things in his life and has learned a lot along the way. And now his goal is to educate.
Y'all got to take note and be ready, because in the future you're the ones that's going to take over, and we're going to be old people trying to figure out what to do at that point. And I have great faith in every one of you that I'm looking at now, that you'll go on and be successful, go to college, get a good education, learn something, and then do something with your lives. Whatever it may be, find something that you love to do, be good at it, and you'll be a success. I love music. I love blues, rhythm and blues, and rock and roll. I love it all. Country, because it all says the same thing to me. It tells a story, and that story is everyday life set to music.
I want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope that Sam's life has either inspired you or influenced you to go out there and get what it is that you want. I know it has inspired me. I hope that you've enjoyed going beyond the tracks with Sam Mosley. Thank you, and God bless.
That make me feel so fine. You know I'm about